Hello everyone, this is Chisu. For this week, I choose a really great book that everyone should read at least once in your lifetime. This book is for those who are feeling lost and who wants to find meaning in life. It is a kind of book that you can hold whenever you are feeling down. It has sold over 12 million copies worldwide, and it had been translated over 24 languages. The book is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was born in 1905, and later he became a psychiatrist in Vienna, the capital city of Austria. At the outbreak of World War II, Nazi took over Austria. Although Frankl was a Jew, he was protected from the arrest by the Nazis and was offered the opportunity to escape to America because of his work as a doctor. However, Frankl chose to stay in Austria to be near his parents. And inevitably, Frankl and his family were arrested and taken to concentration camps. Frankl was taken to 4 concentration camps throughout the World War II, including the Nazi death camp at Auschwitz. The experiences in these concentration camps helped him to use those information in this book, Man's Search for Meaning. And this book has 2 parts. The first part is experiences in a concentration camp, and which reveals Frankl's experiences in living in Nazi concentration camp. And in this session, Frankl focused on how the everyday struggles of camp life affected the mental state of its inmates. And the second part, logotherapy in a nutshell, explains his theory about logotherapy in more details. Logotherapy is Frankl's own brand of psychotherapy, and it is different from psychotherapy as it's focused on the future, that is, on the meanings to be fulfilled by someone in his future. Logotherapy, and this theory, logotherapy, at the heart of this theory is that the human drive is not pleasure, but the pursuit of what we find meaningful. This is really great book to read, and you can get so many valuable lessons from this book. Now, I'm gonna tell you 6 lessons you can learn from this book. Number 1, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any harm. This is the refrain of this book. Throughout the book, Frankl speaks deeply about his own why and its power to help him endure situations in concentration camps. One thing he did was to rewrite his manuscript that was confiscated from him by the Nazis when he entered the Auschwitz. Instead of despairing, he rewrote it, and he also imagined himself giving lectures on his situations in concentration camps and his theories of logotherapy to lecture hall full of students in America in the future. Another thing he did was by creating the mental image of his wife, and this all helped him to survive. Frankl also speaks of many prisoners who had lost their why, and as a result, they quickly lost their life. He wrote that in all outward appearances, he died of typhoid. It It wasn't typhoid that killed him, it was his loss of hope. So, without hope, meaning, or future, death will soon come to you. It doesn't matter if we have nothing to expect from our life, we can still find meaning. Finding meaning in life is the most motivational condition that you can have in your life, and it can help you to get through almost literally any suffering that you have right now. Frankl said that everyone's why is different, and he wrote that no man or no destiny can be compared to any other man or any other destiny. There are three whys that stand out from Frankl's writing: is love, walk, and dignity in suffering. And you can find meaning from these are: if you have a strong why, a guiding purpose in your life, and you can bear any harm, any difficulties. Number 2, success and happiness cannot be pursued, it must ensue. Frankl indicates that if you focus on making success as your target, you are more likely to miss it. Success is like happiness. It cannot be pursued, but must be a byproduct of your actions. When you dedicate your time and effort to a vision that is more significant than yourself, success will come to you as a byproduct of this dedication. And also, you need to let happiness happen in your life, and this is done by not caring about it and just letting things as be as you pursue your vision. Number 3, the salvation of man is through love and in love. While in concentration camps, Frankl was subjected to inhuman treatment as other prisoners. To survive, he ignored this suffering and he occupied his thought on his wife, who had been separated from him by the Nazis, to a female concentration camp. Although he was deprived of sleep, exhausted and hungry, he kept his mind on his wife, and this helped him to endure all this suffering. Frankl learned that love does conquer all. Number 4, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the loss of human freedom to choose one's own attitude in any given circumstances, to choose one's own way. Frankl saw that, like in this horrible environment, in concentration camp, he saw some people who choose to have good attitude, like sharing the last piece of their bread to others. You can choose your attitude no matter what happens, and you can resist your environment's influence. Even in the worst situation possible, someone, a man can choose his own attitude towards life. Number 5, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Number 6, when we are no longer to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This includes the session when Frankl discussed about suffering, and he concludes this session of suffering by stating that suffering isn't necessary to find meaning, but meaning is possible even in spite of suffering, if we choose to accept it. So the choice is always ours, just like the people in the concentration camps. So this is all 6 valuable lessons you can learn from this book. I can't cover all because this book is too deep. So I really recommend you to read this book, because this is a kind of book that you should read at least once in your lifetime. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye.